Good afternoon, and thank you for coming today. As you'll be aware, police has had to deal with some very serious events over the past 24 hours. Today in Glen Eden, police have shot a man dead after he discharged his firearm at them. Last night, a police officer was struck by a fleeing vehicle as he was deploying road spikes in New Lynn. Today a man is dead, and we have 4 police officers in hospital, 2 of those with serious injuries. I'll turn to today's events first. Police were called to an address in Glen Eden at 8:17 a.m. after reports of a house fire and a man on the property discharging a firearm. Our staff, including Armed Offenders Squad staff in the area, were on the scene within minutes. Police tried to engage the man to get him to surrender the firearm, but he became increasingly agitated and aggressive over a period of approximately 30 minutes. Residents of neighbouring properties were evacuated. Approximately 30 minutes after arriving, the situation escalated, and AOS staff deployed distraction devices and other tactics, including a police dog. The situation escalated further when the man fired at police, and officers returned fire, incapacitating him. Our staff delivered first aid to this man, but tragically he has died at the scene. 3 of our staff were shot and injured during this incident, and thankfully their injuries are not life-threatening. 2 officers received moderate injuries, and a 3rd officer has more serious injuries, but is stable and undergoing surgery. We are still trying to formally identify the individual and notify next of kin. In the meantime, our staff are now in the early phases of a critical incident investigation. We're trying to piece together the man's actions today and understand how events unfolded. The IPCA has been notified, and there will also be a coronial investigation. Turning now to the event from last night on Great North Road in New Lynn, where police responded to a burglary call about 11 p.m. Staff in the area noticed a suspicious vehicle which did not stop when signalled to pull over. Police did not pursue the vehicle, but another police unit deployed spikes before the fleeing vehicle at the intersection of Fruitvale Road and Great North Road. This was about 1.5 kilometres away from the burglary scene. About 11:10 p.m, the fleeing driver struck the officer who had deployed the spikes. In a cowardly act, this driver did not stop to render assistance, and the officer sustained serious injuries. The fleeing vehicle crashed into a power transformer on Westwood Hoe Road a short time later, and the occupants of the vehicle fled the scene. There are multiple investigations underway, including CIB and Serious Crash Unit working on the matter. The officer has undergone surgery today and is doing well. Our people come to work every day to keep our communities safe, and this is the last thing that we would want for them. The loss of any life is a tragedy for everyone, including our staff. We offer our deepest condolences to the family of the man who was shot today. Events like today affect our people deeply. We recognise the current challenges facing our communities are very significant, and many people are struggling in different ways. We are committed to maintaining the safety of our communities. Keeping our people safe must be at the forefront of this effort. I'm happy to take any questions.
Is this gang related?
At this stage, there's nothing to say that this is connected with gang tensions. It's very early days in the investigation, and all of that will come clear in time, I'm sure.
Was the man in the Glen Eden incident, was he being sought by police?
No.
Were the armed offenders who were shot, did the body armour save them today?
The injuries they have received were in parts of their body not covered by body armour. We'll know more about whether other shots impacted elsewhere.
This is just the latest in a number of very serious incidents in Auckland. Are the police losing control of Auckland?
This situation, I believe, based on what I know right now, reflects the level of tension being experienced by a number of people across our communities, and that's playing out in a bunch of different ways, some of which are requiring police involvement. So the answer is no. Police are very much in control. We had staff on the scene of this event very quickly, and it was resolved as effectively as it could be given the difficult circumstances.
Are there going to be any immediate changes following, this happening to the way the police are acting on the front line or holding weapons, or any changes around that?
It's far too early to say what learnings might come out of the reviews that will take place. But on the face of it, our police staff engaged professionally. They were very patient in the way they negotiated with this man, and they effectively resolved the situation when it broke down. I couldn't ask for more than that.
Were one of the new tactical response teams being trialled involved today at all?
The staff involved were armed offender squad staff, so they have a high level of capability, and they're the same level of training and skill that we will see in the new teams when they deploy. So we had the right people there.
How can you convince your staff that they are safe in their jobs? You know, a lot of them will still be grieving the very recent death in that hunt. What is your message to them today?
Yeah, look, this has been a very challenging time for staff in Auckland, particularly in this district, and I acknowledge Superintendent Naila Hassan, District Commander here. She and her team have been working incredibly hard to reassure our people here. The changes that we're making through our tactical response model will lead to increased training across all of our staff, but we need to be clear. The staff who attended today are highly trained. They're armed offender squad staff. They were the right people to be going. And unfortunately, some of the situations we deal with do descend into violence. It's never okay, but we had the right people on the job.
But not all of the staff that were there were armed offenders.
The staff who were directly involved in the incident were.
Are you going to issue a general arming across Auckland today in light of the latest two incidents?
These incidents are unconnected. The incident involving the firearm has been fully resolved, so there's no escalation required.
Is it in relation to last week's incident where 5 commenters were arrested?
No, there's no indication of any connection with the previous events of last week.
We also heard that would it be like 2 commenters moving in and there's a turf war between them and the herd hunters?
There's been no evidence of that in relation to today's events, so I'm not quite sure which one you're referring to there, but that's not relevant to the events we're talking about today.
Commissioner, are you able to run us through your understanding of the timeline so far, in particular when the house was lit on fire? Was that before or after there were shots fired?
The house was engulfed in flames when police arrived, so my understanding of events is the house was on fire around the same time shots were fired, and then police attendants followed that. But all of that detail will come out of investigations.
Did the man have a firearm licence?
I can't give you that detail yet. We're still working through the background.
And reporting explosions when the house first caught alight. Can you talk about that at all?
No, all of that will come clear. There will be an investigation of the scene, and there will be interviews of witnesses, and then we'll know better what occurred. So all of the investigations will take care of that kind of detail.
Commissioner, what would you say to Auckland residents, especially out west, who have seen many of these sorts of things recently? What would you say to them? Many are terrified.
Yeah. Look, we are concerned about the escalation that we've seen in violence. We are very focused on firearms, particularly since we launched Operation Tauwhiro back in February. We have recovered nearly 1,000 firearms, predominantly from gang members, and we have arrested in the vicinity of 900 people. So police are actively working on this, and we continue to focus on the important things to keep our community safe.
Are you seeking anyone else in relation to this incident?
No.
Do you have, in regards to the fleeing driver incident, do you have any knowledge of who they are, where they're hiding potentially?
We're following good avenues of inquiry, but I won't give more detail than that at this
How
stage.
many people were in the car? Do you know?
No, I can't speak to that at the moment.
How are you feeling, Commissioner, today, knowing that we could have been dealing with another or multiple police fatalities standing here today?
Look, it's the worst thing that you can have in my position, to get that notification that officers have been injured. When I heard that multiple officers have been shot, my heart sank. It is not what we want for our people. So that's why I'm here. I want to support the district, and I will be visiting with the officers who have been shot.
Was this man a resident of the house that was on fire?
I'm not going to comment on that at this stage.
Was anyone else in the home?
I'm not going to comment on that. Yeah.
Can I just quickly confirm what you said earlier? At this stage, police don't know who this person is that correct?
We are still doing a formal identification and notifying next of kin, and that's why we won't release further details about that person until we've done that.
You have some idea, but not formal at this point.
That's right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.